Welcome everyone to Falklands Fish, and in this video I want to share my thoughts on what I think is an incredibly underrated Lake Tanganyika cichlid, the Limnochromis auritus. I hope you enjoy. So we're looking at here some juvenile Limnochromis auritus. These guys are fish that I've bred that are probably about a year old now. They're pushing 7 to 8 centimetres and getting to that stage where they're starting to flex a little bit and are probably ready to work with in terms of breeding. I'm going to put a link at the end of this video, a video I really hope you guys can watch. It's a bit of footage of a pair of these in the wild and the way they interact with their neighbours and the way they look after their young, and it's very impressive. It's something you won't see in an aquarium based video. Now, given the sort of advanced size on these juvies, I'm going to do some work with trying to generate some breeding pairs, which in my case involves chucking 4 or 5 of each group of this group into some of my other breeding tanks. The fish are quite compatible in terms of hostility with most community tanks. They certainly hold their own, but they're not going to terrorise other fish to the point of eliminating breeding. So here we have 4 of the juvies from that batch we were just looking at that I've now popped in a 250 litre breeder tank with some Limnochromis dewinti and some Stevani peacock. So that'll be a nice compatible sort of tank. Everyone will get along. We're having a feed shortly after introducing them here, and they look very happy with themselves. My end goal here is to generate a breeding pair of these guys in this tank. We'll put some habitat in here that suits their style of breeding, and my hope is that a good pair will pick each other out and bond hopefully for life. I'm a huge advocate for letting fish pick their partners. I'm sure we can all think back to a time where we've got a result with a pairing fish where we put a male together and gotten kind of lucky, but long term, wanting repeat spawns, I really think it's best to let them choose each other, and then we just remove the unlucky couple in the corner. And here we have my much beloved pair of Limnochromis auritus, which gave me the pleasant surprise a day or two ago of meeting me at the front glass with their latest batch of fry. I mentioned in the intro that I feel this is an incredibly underrated species in the tang world. A lot of people, I think, gravitate to the Tropheus and the Frontosa, and in a bit of a cash grab mentality. These are just an interesting fish. In my experience, I got my first group of these way back in about 2010, and I've had the species ever since in my fish room. And unfortunately in Australia, with the rules the way they are, I think it sort of falls back onto some of us to remain custodians of species like this. On the day, it looks like a brown fish, and people don't get excited by that. But you've seen in some of the footage that I've hopefully captured here that there's some pretty subtle and spectacular colour to these guys, and there's some really interesting behaviour. I I like my Malawi cichlids, but it feels like there's no great challenge with any of the breeding or behaviours there. It's always based on the harem spawning mentality. This is a pair of fish that have picked each other out, and in the bowels of my tank down here at the bottom of Australia and Tasmania are thriving and producing fry year after year. I like the fish as well because of the easy nature of care. They're not fussy on the feeding. They're not cantankerous in terms of the coexistence. This is a pair of fish in a 3 by 18 by 18 tank with any amount of algae on the glass, as you can see, but good clean water, and they're doing real well. So if I had to summarise what you need to do to breed a fish like this, it's the first 3 or 4 steps are probably very similar to all fish. You need good fish. Get a nice bloodline from a reputable place if you can. Give that fish the right water parameters, which I think is where so many people in the hobby go wrong. They want to put Americans with tangs and all the rest. Do the fish justice. Good food as well. Those 3 things: good food, good fish, good water. That's going to see you a long way. The big trick I've learnt with this fish is to pop one of these in. This is a piece of PVC pipe, 65mm diameter. That's the internal diameter. That's around 40 centimetres long with an end cap. And if you point that end cap into the back corner of a tank and build a heap of reef over the top of it, allow the fish access to that corner, that opening, you're going to do real well. I really hope you enjoyed my video on these guys today. As I said earlier, I'm very passionate about these, and I highly recommend you have a go at these if you get the chance. Thanks for watching.